Hello everyone, we're Bluetopia, and today we are going to talk about this topic. Should same-sex marriage be legal in Taiwan? And I'm Ruby. And so today we want to start this conversation with a film we found in the internet. And this is called What If Gay Was Straight and Straight Was Gay? It is about a story where the homosexual are the majority of the society and the heterosexual are the ones being discriminated. And this little girl who happens to fall in love with a boy is being bullied and suffering for what she is and how she really feels. And eventually she is heartbroken and committed suicide. And this must not be unfamiliar in our generation because this is what happens to a lot of homosexuals in our generation. And let's take a look at these people. Here are they. They're Elton John, Ellen DeGeneres, and Sam Smith. And they're all successful people in the field of entertainment and music. And they all share something in common, that is, they're all homosexual. And today, our presentation are going to be about the 4W of the same-sex marriage. And we are here, a young generation of people who wants to stand up for the LGBT group and to try our best to eliminate the illusions that others have toward the LGBT group. And the next part of our presentation will have Kevin to talk about the stereotypes that the others have towards the homosexual community. Let's have Kevin.
Okay, thanks Ruby. And the next, I will talk about some homosexual stereotype, 刻板印象. And it's just like a tattoo mark on our mind. First, homosexuality is a disease. No, homosexuality is not a disease and not abnormal. But that is the realize who they are and confirm their minds. And it's a brave and a difficult decision. We should give them more support and encouragement. Next, homosexual sex are immoral. And this is stigmatized, 污名化 by the media. No matter homosexual or heterosexual, there are some unfaithful people exist. Just because they are minority in society, the problem will be exaggerated. And third, homosexuals are infertile and unfairly 不孝的. Procreation is extremely important in traditional Chinese culture. However, forcing child to marry someone they don't love is murdering their happiness. And the last, homosexuality is the minority. Why they can claim so many rights? Homosexuality is not requiring so many rights, but taking back their rights as same as the heterosexual. A progressive society should respect the rights of the minorities. And these are some expressions of homosexuals might be misunderstood. And that's why same-sex marriage is rarely discussed in the past. And the next, we will talk further what I mentioned before. Let's welcome Selena.
Thanks, Kevin. And I'm going to talk about the history about homosexual. And I will back to the 1940s, the Kinsale reports. Kinsale report bring out the whole society attention about homosexual issue. And it finds out that people cannot be divided into heterosexual and homosexual and bisexual. People's or sexual orientation is formed by these three categories. And the Kinsale's report is considered as the most successful and influential scientific research in 19th century and 20th century. And next, we move on 1973. The Diagnosis and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorder is a publication published by American Psychiatry Association. And in 1973, they announced that they will remove the homosexual from this publication. And homosexual is no longer an illness mental. And next, we will move on in 1990. In 1990, World Health Organization, and they officially announced that homosexual will be removed from the international classification of disease. And this is a big progress in the worldwide. And nowadays, more and more organizations, associations will have officially announced and prove that homosexual is not a mental illness and it's not a mental problem. And these two organizations has already announced that. And we are getting more and more accept that homosexual is not a disease. And next, we are talking further about this issue. Welcome, Vince.
Thanks for Selena, and I'm Vince. And it's truly that it has many controversies about the legal of the same-sex marriage. So what actually happened in the world? So we can see on this picture shows that the colorful country represents that it has legalized the law of the same-sex marriage. So let me briefly to talk about what countries are they. So we can see that almost a few of the American countries have legalized the same-sex marriage, and another is Europe, including the North Europe and the South Europe. And the third country is South Africa. And another country that we can neglect is is at the bottom right of the picture, is New Zealand. So is it good for Taiwan now to be pass this law of the same-sex marriage immediately? We think it's not. So let me take the United States for an example. So you can see that in 2000 years, the orange colors represents that the states that they banned for the gay marriage and their rights. So that in the same years, immediately, you can see that on the right-hand side, it has a purple states. A purple represents that the states have legalized their same-sex marriage and support their rights. So, and then in the 2010 and 13 and 14, you can see that gradually that there comes many more countries that support the same-sex marriage and legalize their laws. And finally, in the 2015, all the states of America has passed the laws of the same-sex marriage. So we can think that it's not bad that Taiwan nowadays face many disputes. And from the other points of the view is that our society is get more attention and grab more attention about the homosexual issue. So that we think that we're moving toward the legalization on this road. Okay, so let us welcome the Ariel to summarize our presentation today.
Okay, thanks Vince. I'm Ariel. And our conclusion is we stand for young generations to eliminate old guard stereotype and use some perspectives which my team members have already talked about to prove that first, homosexual is not a disease, and second, marriage is just a family system. The one who you want to get married is a basic human rights, and third, it isn't immoral. We all deserve respect and freedom assured. As people's mind change, we can avoid homosexual discrimination, and we won't think this will be a society problem and always compared gay or lesbian with normal people. If my children are homosexual,
I think I want first them to be normal and or stop them. And move with the times. Move with the times. People become more open-minded and homosexual even makes sense. In our opinions, we support equal rights for all citizens. And gay people have human rights to get married too. So we agree with same-sex marriage. And there are many countries accept same-sex marriage now. So we think Taiwan can work in this way too. This is our point of view. How about everyone? What do you think so? This is our presentation. Thank you for your listening.